About sports stuff, all about sports stuff, yeah, yeah, yeah. Josh knows all about sports stuff. That's right, sports stuff, yeah, yeah, yeah. Come on in and join the show. Hello, hello, hello. Yes, I'm back here with sports stuff. I want to point out right off the bat that I'm not wearing my typical sports stuff shirt, which is the black t-shirt. And actually, I think last week I wore a Ramones t-shirt, but that was black, so kind of fits in. This is kind of like my French shirt, you know. It's like, I think there was a scene in Papillon when he went back, showed him before he went to prison. I think he, and they showed him, he was talking to his wife, who was beautiful. And then, of course, he ends up, in terrible French Guiana prison and da-da-da-da, but he was wearing, I believe, this shirt. Check it, let me know. So the other reason I'm wearing this shirt is actually because of Ariana Grande. See? So, not happy with Ariana Grande. Now, I really don't know who Ariana Grande is as far as an artist. I don't listen to that music. What does that mean? That music. Terrible. I don't listen to a lot of modern music or a lot of pop music, although if I do hear it and I like it, cool. But she's interesting. She's very attractive. She looks like she's 12, but still, she's attractive. And but my boy Pete Davidson from Saturday Night Live, he's the man. Like him, because he's crazy, and he's sober now, which is good. But I don't like the way she's treating him because they broke up, this whole thing, and he did this little commercial for Saturday Night Live where he asked like one of the co-hosts or artists, I don't remember, not co-host, the host, or one of the artists that was appearing to marry him, So it's a joke. So Ariana Grande gets all pissy about it, makes a comment. Now she's got to be very careful because we could have a Tom Green situation here. Drew Barrymore, who I love, married Tom Green and it lasted like a day and a half, and it destroyed his career. Well, he was not that good anyway, so kind of show people what he was. So I do not want Pete Davidson to go down that path. Jerry Vickery is here. How you doing, Jerry? And so take it easy, Ariana. Chill out. And anyway, but you're not here for that. You want to hear about sports stuff. I was in New York City this past week, and I try to get into the city as little as possible. I used to be there all the time. I used to live there. I used to travel there when I was a kid in Jersey. And going to Manhattan back in the 70s and 80s was just amazing because you could get there in 45 minutes. You go downtown. You don't have to deal with any of the other crap uptown, midtown. And I loved it. And I went there all the time. And I kind of found myself there, and lived there for 12 years, whatever it was. I found a crumb on my bed. Just throwing it away. Yeah, I eat on the bed. Okay? Big deal. So anyway, I was watching Young Sheldon last night. I loved it. And the dad, it's a great show. It's precursor to, or the prequel to Big Bang Theory. And the dad only wanted to go to this restaurant and sit there, a diner, whatever it was, and watch the game and eat chicken wings, and everyone was coming and bothering him. And I was watching it with my mom, who lives with me because I'm pitiful. And I said, and she's always bothering me about eating in my room, eating in my bed, eating in the den, whatever. It's like a big problem, but I do it anyway. And I explained to her, see, do you understand this guy? It's all he wants to do. He's a man. We want to eat in bed there. We want to be left alone. We don't want to talk. Anyway, where was I? So I went to the city last week, and I met these couple guys, these old guys. They were in their 80s, and they had been collecting autographs for years in person. The kind of guys that really don't buy anything, which is really an interesting thing. So back in the 40s and 50s and 60s, these guys were running around getting autographs, not paying anything for anything, and it's a wonderful thing. And they end up with a great collection. And so I showed them. I bought this other collection from this guy in Cleveland. Actually, I didn't go. My boy Jordan, our director of acquisitions, by the way, who's doing an amazing job at Lelands. He went out there with Eric Lang the old guy that works for me, who I is amazing. He's one of my best friends, and they bought this collection for like $30,000, right? And originally, it's not a great collection. It's quantity, not quality, and they wanted to pay like $15,000. But I told the guy wanted 30. That was the bottom line. So I said, look, they told me, gave me an idea what it was, and I said, go get it. And it was a whole machination. They went there and they didn't have enough cash, and they had to come back. The guy wouldn't take a check. I mean, it was ridiculous. Guy was a little bit of a jerk. He's dealing with a major company. We're not going to rip him off with a bounce check or a fake check, whatever. It's ridiculous. So, we had to run around, get the cash, and we finally did. So some of this stuff we couldn't identify. Well, I could. Eric couldn't. So we bring it there to show these two old guys in Manhattan. And it was really fun. We sat there in this diner. Oh, it was great. It was uptown. It was like in the 70s. Oh, my computer's going to die. I got 5%. So anyway, I got to plug it in. Oh, man. Technical difficulties. All right. So if there's a problem, I will plug it in. So anyway, these guys are looking at this stuff. It's really funny because every time, I show them one because I haven't seen this stuff yet. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's Dick Himes or that's Patti LaBelle. So, but we still had fun. And we were in this diner, by the way, that was near my old business partner, Phil Corton's old building. And we used to go there all the time and have the Romanian steak. If you haven't had Romanian steak, it's amazing. It's a strip steak or a skirt steak, which is amazing. The cheaper cuts of beef are always the best. People have filet mignon. That's the worst because it's got no taste. It's just not fatty. Anyway, and it's all marinated like in lemon and spices and garlic, which is a spice. No, is that a spice? Yeah, it is a spice. Whatever. You write in and let me know. Anyway, so we pull up. That's where we're meeting these guys. I had no idea. And we pull up, and I'm like, this is that place. I used to eat there all the time. And I remembered the guy, the owner from 25 years ago. I saw him. He was exactly the same, except he had gray hair. And I said, I know you. I said, you've been here many, many years, right? He goes, yeah. And that was it. That wasn't a very interesting conversation. But I had fun with these guys, and I showed them some of this stuff. And this is cool. This guy got everything. Now, this is the guy in Cleveland, not the guys in New York. They sold me a couple things, but it was kind of cool. Josh Heller is here. How you doing, Josh? Good name. Peter, Paul, and Mary. Nice, right? Mary Yarrow. She was great. Peter Yarrow. I don't remember. Maybe they were married. I don't know. But Peter, Paul, and Mary. Love that. They're great. There was a great PBS with them. They did a concert like years later, and they're just as good. They're amazing. But this guy made a mistake. He cheaped out. Like, this is a Xerox of a picture. Josh, how you doing? Good. Look, I'm doing a show here, Heller. Just relax. So, Shirley Jones. I knew this guy. I did a demo when I was a kid, like 17, before I went to college. Well, he did the demo and I played on it. And yes, I am a musician, despite the talent you see here on my theme song, which is awful. And he was really into Shirley Jones, which is very interesting. But he was into the old Shirley Jones, which is kind of strange. Not the like carousel, hot Broadway woman, Shirley Jones, or girl, young woman. All right. Well, I don't know. So that's him. That's the guy. So instead of the reason the collection wasn't so great is, first of all, this is a Xerox, photos are crap, is a picture of him. There he is with the star. And then I think it's to Steve. Not the best way. Okay, don't do that. These guys in New York, smart. They got 3x5 cards, which are cheap, and they got them signed, not personalized. And that's a great thing. Now today, PSA is slabbing these. They'll put them in a slab and they'll grade them, and they're really good value. So, but this guy did one thing. On some of the stuff, he put the date when he got it on the back and where he got it, which is very cool. But then there's some interesting things. It's not all that kind of crap. The early stuff, like, look, isn't that cool? It's like a little Count Basie. It's like a booklet. What's it? What is it? Oh, it's a promotional thing for Columbia Records. Yeah. Count Basie went to college. Did you tell you that Harvard conferred upon him the degree of OBF? Yeah, right. But they wouldn't let him sit in the dining room, I'm sure. Disgusting. And there's his autograph on the back, Count Basie. He's cool. I saw Count Basie in Blazing Saddles the other day. The sheriff, what's his name? Sheriff of Red Rock, Cleavon Little. It's walking through the desert, and Count Basie, and it's, music is playing, and then he comes across Count Basie, who's actually with his whole orchestra playing the music. It's great. Watch that movie again. Mel Brooks is a genius. His jokes about Hitler are amazing. People take things too seriously. And anyway, where are we at on we're down to 4%. It looks like 4 on the battery. So any minute now, I got to plug it in. And Dwight Yoakam, who, by the way, I'm not really into country that much, although Hank Williams, George Jones, I do like country, actually. He's a great actor. He was in Sling Blade. Remember that? He played the abusive boyfriend. Terrible, but he was great. And this is, I don't know who that is. Oh, wow. Look at her. She's gorgeous. That's Alec Baldwin's, Kim Basinger, Alec Baldwin's ex-wife. Hey. And there's a thing here, and I got this. Oh, Tony Randall with Jack Klugman, but Jack Klugman didn't sign it. Love The Odd Couple. Fantastic. All right, what else we got going? Okay. Jordan Gilroy, my main guy, director of acquisitions, I think that's his title, is up at the Greater Boston Show. It's up in Wilmington, Mass. It's this weekend. So that's a great show. I would love to have gone, but, it's just too much. Going to a show, it's a whole thing. Now, a whole thing is an interesting thing. I don't know if I told you this story. I was sitting there with, but I'll tell it again. I was hanging out with Charlie Sheen, who I was friendly with for many years. I still am. And I went to his house, and this was early on in the relationship. And I was staying over there, and we're supposed to go to the Laker game. And it was really, I was really excited. Never been to a Laker game, go with Charlie Sheen, the whole thing. Jack Nicholson might be there, who knows? And he said to me, we're sitting there, we're watching TV, and he said to me, I don't really want to go. I said, really? And I kind of hid that I was, maybe not too well, that I was disappointed. But I said, why not? He goes, well, because it's a whole thing. I use that term all the time, whatever. And I said, what do you mean? He says, well, and he kind of explained it that he goes to this dinner beforehand with the owner, Jerry Buss, who's no longer with us. And there's all these girls, these gorgeous, supermodel types, whatever, sitting at a table. And then, he's going to be on camera. It's like a whole thing. And of course, now I really want to go. But instead, we stayed home. And I remember we watched the movie The Principal with Jim Belushi. And I remember that night so well. And it was awesome because it's just me and Charlie hanging out. So there's a whole thing about a whole thing. It really is. We all have our pressure. We all have our things that are a big deal for us. Me going to a show, it's a whole thing. It's all these people. I can't just go quietly. I know everybody. There's people that love me, people that hate me, people that, are taking out a contract on my life. Just kidding. And it's a whole thing. And I can't just go. Plus, it's in Boston. I got to drive 5 hours, the whole thing. But I wish I was there. I wish I had gone. But people have been calling me this morning that are there at the show, and they're, telling me about stuff, whatever. But if you're going to go to the show, go stop by. He's right in the front. Go see Jordan Gilroy right in the front. Stop by. And he'll tell you what your stuff is worth. He'll buy something from you, maybe. He'll take something on consignment. And by the way, consignment-wise, this is what is that called? From one thing to the next? Okay, whatever. Transition? No, I can't think of what it's called. I'm a little hazy today. This morning. Our auction is going on right now. We have a monthly auction. Some of the prices are really low. Go take a look. There's good buys in that auction because we don't care. We'll sell it cheap. Start at $100, worth $500. If it sells for $100, we sell it. Not happy, but we sell it. So take a look at the monthly auction on Lelands.com. It's up there. And it's got some neat stuff. There's a lot of non-sports in this auction, meaning non-sports cars. Like there's a Gilligan's Island set, and there's like a Munster set, like from the 60s. This is great stuff. Take a look. What else is going on? Don't forget to vote. It's very important to vote. Now remember, I'm not political. I believe in the issues, like what's right. I don't like this whole thing. You got to like be on one side or the other. It's ridiculous. You know, it's not like it's your father. My father was great. But if your father was let's say your uncle. My uncle was a jerk. I'm not talking about my Uncle Bobby. He's great. But a couple of my other uncles, not so great. And if they're a jerk, just because he's your uncle, you don't have to agree with it. You know, you got to have your own opinions. So don't get caught up in this whole political thing. Get caught up with what's right. I like things on both sides, you know? So anyway, what else? I don't think I got anything else. Oh, yes. In that auction is a very good card. Bobby Orr's rookie card is 1966 Topps. However, there's a very rare variation. Topps did supposedly a test market. It wasn't really a test market. James Capobianco's here. Also from Boston. James, go see Jordan Gilroy at the show. It's in Greater Boston. It's this weekend. Anyway, so the best hockey card in the world is actually a test issue. It's a Bobby Orr, 1966 Topps USA. It's called, and they released a very small number. Specifically, what am I down to on the battery? Ooh, doesn't even say 1%. Hold on, I gotta plug it in. This is a show about sports stuff, all about sports stuff. Yeah. This is going to die. Watch this. Here we go. Yeah, we're good. Okay. Anyway, so it's a great set. It's a great card. In that auction is a Bobby Orr test issue card. The difference between the Topps issue, the regular Topps issue, was that it was bilingual. The test card is only in English. And so it's different, and it's extremely rare. And there's a PSA 8 OC, which means a PSA 8, which is near mint to mint, and OC means off center. So it's got a qualifier. Segue was the word, not transition. So my segue is to show you some of I have these here. These are also, look at this. These are all Topps Test USA. Isn't that great? They're upside down. What? Yeah, look at those. Aren't they cool? I have a huge group of them. These will be coming up in upcoming auctions. These are commons. Pretty cool, right? James Capobianco, which is a very difficult name to pronounce or spell. Too many letters. Actually, they used to just shorten names. My name is not Evans. No way. When my father, my great-great-grandfather came over from Ellis Island, they said, oh, Evansky, not cool. We're going to shorten it to Evans. So anyway, but James makes a good point. He remembers when the Bobby Orr and the Carlton Fisk card, rookie card, was the same price, $22. That was in 1912. Anyway, so that's good people to see. I'm getting input. I think that's it. Take a look at our auction, Lelands.com. Lots of good buys. Very cheap. Very cheap. I don't know what that meant. But there's actually an accent. I don't want to talk anymore about that because I'll get in trouble. What else? Follow us on Facebook. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us anywhere. Just don't follow me. No, that's not true. Unless you can follow me, but not too closely. All right. That's it. I enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed it. And went with the theme. And by the way, hi to Joan J. See you later. This was a show about sports stuff, all about sports stuff. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I added that little bit. Josh knows all about sports stuff, all about sports stuff. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hope you really like the show. Love you too, James C. Take care. We'll see you soon. Have a nice weekend. And don't forget to vote.